Hi, this is Jeff with the INTJ equation, and today I'm going to do a video showing a little bit of evidence of cognitive transitioning. I recently released one with my INFJ friend Millie, talking about cognitive transitioning, and there was some kind of criticism that it doesn't exist. It originally came from Carl Jung and Aeons. I definitely need to check the material, the source material out. I did look a little bit of tidbits up online. And C.S. Joseph also did comment a lot on this, and that's the main source from this. But a lot of people feel because C.S. Joseph rubs people the wrong way, or it wasn't by Jung or Myers or Briggs, that it's not true. This clip I'm about to show is about Paris Hilton pretty much admitting that she's a cognitive transition. She showed that her ESFP side, to quote her, like her dumb, blonde, bubbly side. With her and Nicole Ritchie are in fact INTJs. I checked and I verified several times, and I also have other footage in this clip. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll the clip now.
Real life, I'm the exact opposite. I'm not a dumb blonde, I'm just very good at pretending to be one.
You actually knew what Walmart was.
Yes, I know exactly what Walmart is.
In the next clip, I'm gonna show you evidence of NI and FI. In the clip, Paris Hilton discusses being released from jail and how she values her freedom. NI users greatly value their freedom, and when it's repressed from them or taken away from them, they don't do well. Like NI DOMs in jail is not a good thing. And she also discusses her FI. She's showing that after she left jail or left the detention center that she was placed in as a kid. I'll put the full clip of this video and all the videos I'm doing down in the description. But anyway, I guess her parents locked her away in this some kind of school in Utah, and they mistreated her and abused her there. So rich people can be traumatized too. So it's not a poor, like a poor exclusive sort of thing. But anyway, she talks about being released from it and not talking about it and just bottling her feelings up. So I'll just go ahead and roll the next clip.
Why not tell them when you got out?
When I got out, I was just so grateful and so happy to be free that I just didn't even want to bring it up. I was like, I'd rather, just never talk about this, just don't think about it. And from the moment I stepped out of that building is when I decided I'm never telling this story to anyone ever.
You thought you'd never tell it?
No. And I didn't think they would believe me, because even hearing myself talk about it, it sounds impossible to believe.
Okay, the next clip I want to show is her talking to David Linnerman. It's going to be bits and pieces of that, and again, it'll be down in the description below. I just want to demonstrate how responding and direct she is. If she was an ESFP, she'd be very informative, meaning that she would beat around the bush a lot. She would use a lot of words to explain things and take longer to explain things, but here she's just very direct and straight to the point. Also, ESFPs are initiating, they're extroverted, so they bring up new topics in the conversation. She didn't bring up a new topic during the whole interview, really. There's another clip I want to show you after this as well, but let me roll this clip.
Thank you.
Look better than ever. Thank you so much for being here. How have you been? You all right?
Good. Good to be back in New York.
Yeah, good to have you here. How much time do you spend in New York City? A lot?
Not as often as I'd like.
Which do you prefer, New York City or Los Angeles?
I like both. I like the weather in LA better, but I love New York City.
New York City is exciting, though, isn't it?
I was born here, yeah.
Yeah, good for you. How'd you like being in jail?
That's how you start. Not too much.
God, that was just a horrible thing. God, wasn't it horrible?
Yeah,
It was,
definitely.
And you know what? They locked up your friend Nicole. She was only in for a short period of time, wasn't she? Now, how can she was only in for like 45 minutes? How did that work? How can somebody only be in for 45 minutes?
I don't know.
Tell us now, looking back on that experience, what have we learned? What can you tell us? What's different about you going forward as you look back?
Well, obviously, it was a very traumatic experience.
God, was it? I think
I did it, so yeah. I feel like I can do anything now.
You can survive anything,
yes,
sure.
Definitely.
And I guess the food was just awful, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be good. It's jail.
Did you have three meals a day?
Yes.
Would you start with the breakfast?
Obviously.
What would the breakfast be?
Like a hard-boiled egg and an orange.
That's not bad. Hard-boiled egg and an orange. You can't.
The next clip I want to show you is some examples of an INTJ shadow side, and this specifically, it's SI demon. SI demon for an INTJ is we don't like to talk about our past. Once we start talking about something that we're uncomfortable with, we will just shut you out. She was trying to be cordial for the whole interview. Then finally she had enough and just shut David Letterman out. They went back and forth for a while and she just kind of refused and they finally moved on. So I cut it off after that. They're just promoting stuff. She also shows some TE there, talking a little bit about all of her accomplishments and everything that she'd done, like her perfume and her movies and her clubs and all that, and what she came to really to promote. And again, very direct and very responding. She doesn't really initiate any new points, showing that she's introverted. And also she does show through the whole interview, most of the time she shows pretty low FE. She doesn't show a lot of facial expression on her face. You see a lot of forced smiles, mostly because Letterman, the ENTP, just keeps badgering her about jail. So I'll go ahead and show you the clip.
Say that a person in your position could serve now as, I think, an exemplary role model for youngsters. And there's a lot of trouble in the world for kids. They have to be very careful. And they see now what has happened to you, and it might occur to them, my gosh, if it happens to someone, you know, wealthy and famous and powerful, it might happen to me, so I better straighten my life out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And do you get the correspondence like that from kids and teachers and clergymen and stuff?
I'm going on to the next
Yeah,
question.
okay.
I'm over it.
Yeah. But I would... Because in all seriousness now, this could be your legacy. This as a contribution to the young people of this country.
Love you too.
Yeah. Somebody you met in prison? Because... I know. No, we really should. I know. Well, I haven't seen you because you know what happened the week that you were supposed to be on the show.
The next clip I want to show you is Nicole Ritchie to kind of verify that she's an INTJ as well. This clip I'm showing you shows abstraction. It's very kind of woo-woo-y, talking about charging her crystals in the full moon, but she gives abstraction and she also is very systematic there. So that would exclude her from being an INFJ. She details the process of how she does charge the crystals and makes them and sells them. Then she talks about this Ramon guy who, you know, uses his thumbs and was very detailed on the objects, very solid, physical, tangible things. And that kind of describes SE. She's using her SE to describe things that are in reality. So I'll go ahead and show that clip. And again, it'll be down in the show notes.
Crystals, just for my friends, private clients. Essentially, what I'm doing is I go and source the crystals. I charge the crystals in the most recent full moon, bring them here, and then Ramon hand makes them. To watch it all come together, like with Ramon's two hardworking thumbs, you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's just pure art. The skill is amazing.
Okay, in the next clip, I want to show Nicole Ritchie talking about her feelings, showing an example of introverted feelings, showing like who they are. Introverted feelers kind of have a better idea of who they are because they feel who they are, where extroverted feelers kind of struggle with that and they can just feel other people's emotions.
The only time I've really experienced that is when I was first, I think I went to New York and I was doing a bunch of editor meetings and House of Harlow had first started. And I did feel a little bit of a pressure because I'm from California, not from the East Coast. I wasn't doing this brand in New York. And there were moments where I felt like I had to have a little bit more of a serious attitude and the octave had to, you know, drop a little bit. But it's not who I am.
The next clip I want to show you is of Nicole Ritchie, and this will be the last clip. Again, she's just talking about being systematic, explaining her system. She uses TE, explaining how she made her business grow and what she did to expand business and how she went from costume jewelry to regular jewelry, which I don't really know anything about jewelry, but that's her thing. Then she also goes back talking about her own feelings and about herself with her FI. Then at the end of the clip, she kind of finishes it off talking about her aesthetics, and aesthetics is like an SE thing. And she's talking about showing her aesthetics. And the more she shows her aesthetics, the better she feels with her introverted feeling. And the more she shows of her aesthetics, the more her business grows with her TE.
I was running it as a wholesale business, and it just wasn't speaking to me anymore. And I was really getting frustrated with how hard it was becoming to speak directly to my customer. So I had pulled back apparel, and I had made the decision to just take it out of wholesale altogether and partner with Revolve and just do direct to consumer. There's 4 floors of this here. This is Allie. Hi, how are you? I'm just walking them back here. Is that okay? This is fall. We do everything here from fabrics, prints, bodies, fit meetings. I like to have as many fabrics moving through the months as possible. And I think, the more aggressive I am in like just pouring like more of myself and sharing as much of myself and my aesthetic, I just have, a different thing going on instead of it just being one note.
All right, well, that's it for this one. This is the first video of this type that I did. I hope it shows some evidence of cognitive transitioning and how INTJs can actually be ESFPs. If you do burden yourself and watch an episode of The Simple Life or clips of it, you can definitely see that they differ from ESFPs. They're still being very direct when they're trying to be ESFPs. They're just kind of like one-line punch jokes instead of just all out being in a moment silliness. It's just very burst of it, and you can tell that they're just being INTJs that are showing their ESFP side. Anyways, if you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Also, you can join our Discord server, our subreddit. I have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All that information is down below. Thank you for going beyond the clickbait. Have a great day.